and welcome back to Lizard Studios. Today you are going to be a little worm looking up at the sky and all the buildings around you. I'm going to teach you how to draw perspective from the floor looking onto the sky. We're going to use lines, we're going to use shapes, and we're going to use a lot of repetition, okay? So let's begin by getting our materials out. Okay, for today you are going to need a rubber, a permanent black marker, a pencil, scissors, your size or my size, okay? Whatever size you need. You need one piece of white paper, although I have here some old paper because like I'm going to be drawing with permanent marker. It goes through the paper. So you're gonna need, those old pieces of paper that you don't no longer need, but that you could use today. You're gonna need also a blue piece of paper because we're gonna mat on this one, okay? And then you are going to need some glue and a oil pastel in light blue and an oil pastel in white, okay? So 1 and 1. And we'll use those last. The first thing that we need to do today is talk about perspective. Now, if I am a little worm or a little mouse on the floor and all these big buildings are around me and I look up, like in New York, for example, or in London, I would see very big buildings here and very small buildings at the top. So today, what we are going to do is just that. We are going to draw perspective. Perspective is the way that we see something. We could see it big, we could see it small. If I put my hand in front of you, it would seem like there is a huge hand right there. But no, it's just my hand, but it's closer to you than to me. So perspective varies. And today, we're gonna do a cityscape in perspective. So let's begin. Okay, the first thing that we need to do today is take our paper and we are going to cut parallel to the edge. We're going to cut like a finger wide, okay? Parallel here. And then on the other side, on this end right here, we are going to draw another, we're gonna cut another parallel line, just like that. What do we do with this paper? Nothing, we keep it or we put it in the bin, okay? You could use it for tiles, so I'm gonna save it there. Why do we cut the paper? Well, because later on, we are going to be gluing the paper on this blue paper for matting. And like that, our work is gonna look amazing. Okay, but right now, I'm gonna put this paper to the side and I am going to start drawing on this paper right here. So, when I draw, I don't need this other one, so I'm just gonna show you how I draw the city. And like that, you could follow me. The first thing that we need to do is draw 4 lines in the middle. I'm gonna show you. This is the middle of the paper, okay? So, if this is the middle of the paper, this is the dot in the middle of the paper, well, what am I gonna do? I am going to draw 1 vertical line right here and another vertical line right here, okay? I am going to draw a horizontal line right here, a little bit longer, okay? A little bit longer, and another horizontal line right here. And now, what do I need to do? I need to draw diagonal lines. Remember, vertical, horizontal, diagonal, okay? They're like this. So I'm gonna draw a diagonal line coming from here all the way to the edge of the paper and from here to the edge of the paper. And I'm going to do the same with the other lines. See, I'm going to turn the paper around. I'm not taking it all the way to the corner, I'm just taking it here. Okay? And look at this one. Okay? And here we go. There we go. And now I have my paper just like this. Well, we are going to start drawing the details of the buildings. And let me show you how to do that. We're going to take our pencil And we're gonna go right here in the middle of this line. And we're gonna go to the middle of this space, more or less. And we're gonna draw a line across, like that. And now from the middle of the space to the middle of this space, you see? As you see, I don't use rulers, okay? Because I like to learn how to measure without a ruler. And like that, I don't know, I just like it better, okay? But you could use a ruler if you want to. Okay, now, as things are close to me and I am right here looking up into the sky, things get smaller in the back at the top. This is the sky right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make small lines, like if these were the windows, and these small lines get wider and wider and wider and wider. Look at this. They get wider and wider, and they get wider and wider. You see that? There we go. Okay? And now, if I wanted to do a door, I would do it here, but I'm just gonna leave it. Well, here, I'm gonna do a door. A round door right here. Okay, if this was a building, I would just do the door right here. It's okay, you don't have to erase because we're gonna use the marker later on. That would be the door of my building. Okay? Now, I'm gonna do the same on the other three. Okay? So just watch. From the middle to the middle. Here I'm gonna do two different lines. I'm gonna cut the space into threes and this space into three, and this line I'm gonna take this way and this one over here. More or less, okay? Doesn't have to be perfect, but more or less, see? And now I'm gonna do the same thing. Smaller lines at the top, like if they were windows that are getting wider and wider and wider. Okay, and now I am going to use the marker to go over everything, all right? Now I need to put this paper down and use my marker, all right? Watch me as I do it. Okay, and now I am finished with my buildings looking up into the sky. I'm gonna draw a plane. Okay, I'm gonna draw a plane that is going from here to the back like this, and the wings are just going like this towards the back. Okay, so like that, I know that my plane is heading this way on the buildings. Okay, so I am a worm and I'm looking up at a plane that is passing through the middle of these buildings. Okay, and now it's time to take our oil pastels and start coloring the sky. But we want to, remember, we want to leave some parts white, like if they were clouds. So we are going to work leaving some parts kind of white, and then we're going to work with the white crayon, okay? You could also be a person looking up at the skyscrapers. Skyscrapers are big, huge buildings that we look up to. And now the white crayon. And this is really cool because you could go like this, round and round and round, and it kind of looks like clouds. If it doesn't, you could always use the blue to make some little circles like that. Okay. Now you press the white down really, really, really hard, and you get that nice feeling. See how I go around like this? I make like little circles to make it more real, okay? To make it more real. And I draw over the actual white and over the actual blue also, just to give it that feeling. There we go. Okay, and now we are finished with our work. Look at that. The only thing that we need to do is now look at our plane. Look, our plane is going this way. If we put it this way, it's going that way. And what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna sign with a marker. I'm gonna sign with a pencil. I'm just gonna sign right here. I'm gonna put this right here, very small. You always should sign your work, okay? And now I'm gonna turn it around, put some glue on it. Make a little line of glue all around the edge like this. Don't make it all the way to the edge, a little bit inward, okay? It's like that. If you move the paper around a little bit to get the right spot, then you won't break it, okay? There we go, okay? And now I'm at it. And now it's like I'm looking up into the sky and I'm looking at that plane. So let's review what we have done today. Today we have made a perspective drawing of a cityscape by pretending that we are a worm or a little mouse looking up into the sky, and we have seen an airplane in that sky that is flying in between, well, not in between, but it's flying up in the sky above the buildings where we're looking. Now, how have we done this? We have done this by drawing horizontal lines, by drawing vertical lines, and then we drew some diagonal lines, okay? And we kept on going with diagonal lines, making things in the background smaller, like the lines are closer together, and then at the bottom where we are at standing, they are wider apart, okay? So that's how we made this perspective drawing. Next week we are going to make another perspective drawing, but that one is going to be of us in the plane, in this plane, looking down at the buildings. So I will see you next week, and we are going to be looking down to the floor from the plane. All right, so be good, stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.